When hope is gone, undo this lock and send me forth on a moonlit walk. Release restraint level 0. Hey kids, wanna see a dead body?
Hi guys, this is the Void of the Ravenclaw. Welcome back to another fanfiction story. If you like this type of content, smash the like button and subscribe for future videos and updates that I do post on my community tab frequently. If you want access to my content early, check out my Discord. This is the Sith of Gotham City, Chapter 1, Sith Acolyte, Part 12. We'll get into the story here in a second. I haven't figured out where I'm going to end chapter 1. I've already made 12 parts of this for chapter 1 we're currently in. So I haven't really decided where I'm going to end the first chapter and begin the second one. So it's that little problem I'll eventually figure out as the story progresses. I've already decided on Elijah's Sith name already, so that won't be revealed until we get into that story part of the story, at least get to that point in the story. That's pretty much all I want to say on the matter. All this, how I write the script is how it goes. I don't really have any major future plans in this fanfiction outside of eventually he's going to get across the source wall into the DC stuff. Because like I said in the beginning, or part 0, the source wall is separating the DC universe from the Star Wars universe. That's pretty much about it. Let's continue where we last left off in our story, with the temporary team-up between the Jedi Knight, River, alongside with the Republic troopers, and the Imperials, alongside with a Sith acolyte, an agent of Imperial intelligence, Vex, begin to work together, try to repair the equipment in the engine room to restore power to the entire ship. They only managed to restore power to 2 levels so far, above them and below. But that's slowly changing as the Dreadnought was slowly coming to life, floor to floor. Quill walked up to Elijah, who's currently sitting in the middle of the engine room, meditating with his lightsaber on his lap. Yuri approached River. "You sure this is a good idea, sir? Working with Imperials? How do you know if that little acolyte over there is plotting something?" "He might be acolyte, but a Sith is a Sith, no matter what title they use. I think we're safe at the moment, Yuri. As long as we have a common interest. The Imperials won't try anything." What makes you so confident, sir?" "I've been observing the acolyte. Like you have. You've been observing the boy ever since you noticed him." "Hard not to, sir. The last time I came across a Sith acolyte, that little bastard took out many of my men before we had to put him down. They're vicious, That sounds about right when it comes to their order. Let's use what you've experienced in the past. The acolyte who is currently with us is anything like the other acolytes you came across so far, given he hasn't attacked. Now that you mention it, this acolyte has been outright kind and respectful. Not something you would see with the Empire. Exactly. Have you experienced similar traits that acolyte displayed? What are you getting at? I might not know what specific family this acolyte belongs to, but nor do I have any concrete evidence. He just reminded me of someone who I came across multiple times from the Empire. While the Republic trooper and Jedi continued their conversation, Quill finally spoke up. I have already informed the troopers of the situation. Some of them are not very happy, but they'll follow their orders. Good. The last thing we need is some of our people compromising this temporary team up. The Republic troopers and the Jedi will expect us to backstab them, so let's not do that. I know there's no way any Imperial will trust anyone from the Republic or the Jedi Order, but like you said, this is only a temporary alliance. We're in a unique situation for teaming up with the Republic is a necessary evil. Exactly. And we don't want to cause any trouble. We're still currently in peace with the Republic. It would not look good on the Empire if there was reports of Imperials killing any Republic troopers or Jedi while there's still peace between the two factions. And it would look bad upon my family because I'm involved. And that I will not tolerate. Try your best not to jeopardize that. It would be unfortunate if I had to kill you or any of these fine troopers here. Duly noted, acolyte. Good. Now we got that nasty bit of business out of the way. How's the repairs going? We're making progress with the Republic help. This will cut a few hours. For full estimate time, we originally would have to work on it. The full estimate time with the Republic help, if we work all night, we should have it done in 2 days. Guess it can't be helped. How much of the Dreadnought power has been restored? Including this level and a level below us, we have restored power to about 3 levels. The hyperdrive is undamaged, but is currently being blocked from getting any sort of power for safety reasons. I'll take your word for it. Hyperdrive engines are not my field of expertise. Don't get me wrong, I'm pretty good with mechanics, but I know next to nothing about hyperdrives. I know how to maintain them, but anything more complex, then I'm out of my element. Considering we can't do anything right now, I'm going to try to recover some of my strength. Let me know if anything changes. We'll let you know. If anything changes, you will be informed. As Elijah closed his eyes and began to rest through meditation, Quill noticed the Jedi approach when he walked away from Elijah. Does he often threaten people? Honestly, I don't know, Jedi. But it's the first time he's done so. He's a warrior through and through. I didn't take offense to his threat. It was more of a statement, if anything else. Now you please excuse me, Jedi. This interrogation is over. As he began to do his own work, walking away. Making friends already, River. It's not a talent I choose to have. Just something about me pisses off all Imperials. So what's the status? With the Imperial help, we're making good progress. Good. I got to admit, the imps know how to get results. That's most likely because of the Commander Quill and the mysterious acolyte over there. You're probably right on that, sir. The commander is a chiss, and their species reputation precedes itself. But that acolyte screams authority. He's an Imperial. He has that Imperial accent. Most likely comes from a wealthy family. Let's get back to work. Sure thing, Jedi. Several hours has passed. Elijah has pretty much fully recovered. He opened his eyes and got up. Then he proceeded to help out with the troopers with what he can. There's still a lot of machinery that needs to be fixed. The troopers went into shifts, so no singular person is slowly working on the power problem. After rewiring a couple systems, they eventually got power back to the entire dreadnought. As we change scenes, and do a little bit of a recap on Vex's point of view of things. Sometime before the Republic ship that docked with the dreadnought appeared, as they slowly back out of the medical room, not knowing how many zombies are in that specific room, they quietly left and locked the door. When they left, they immediately traveled down the long hallway. After they passed a few rooms, they picked a random room on the right. Once Vex spliced through the door immediately opened up as Vex and the Imperial troopers that accompanied her to the bridge entered the room and locked the door. The room was a decent size, furniture scattered all around. On one of the side of the walls is a viewing window that gives them a good view of space. I know you're shaken up, troopers, but get your head in the game. Ma'am, they ate him. That can't be changed, soldier. Don't allow yourself to crumble. Don't let his sacrifice be in vain. Yes, ma'am. Check your ammo. And check if anyone injured or have been bitten. We are all uninjured, ma'am. Good. Try to keep it that way. The rest up while you can. We have to return to that medical room when the power's on, but until then, we're moving forward. 30 to 40 minutes. It's enough time for a small break. As about 20 minutes has passed, as they saw a Republic dreadnought, not really a Republic battle, some sort of Republic vessel, approach the Republic dreadnought as it fly past their viewing window. That's a Republic battleship. It seems like the Republic was the first ones to arrive, much like I suspected. Everyone, get up and gear up and get ready. We're moving forward. The moment everyone was up, they immediately left the room and continued down the hall. As they entered a large room that has different types of doors on all sides of the walls, leading to different areas of the dreadnought on this level. Before they could decide on a direction, several zombies in the room made themselves known by firing their blasters, forcing the Imperials and Vex to take cover. Luckily for them, there are several large objects in the room to do so. Vex ordered the troopers to return fire once they have cover, as a firefight erupts between the Imperials and the zombie Republic troopers and officers. As the firefight increased, one of the more intelligent zombies ran forward, dodging, weaving around all the blaster bolts, and jumped up in the middle of the air, right above Vex. Vex looked up and holstered her blaster, and immediately performed a handstand kick, slamming both of her feet into the stomach of the zombie. With the zombie still airborne, Vex stood up fast and landed on her feet and pulled out her blaster and started to blast the airborne zombie. As soon as the dead zombie hit the ground, one of the troopers used the flamethrower wrist bracer, I guess it would be called. I don't want to call it a bracelet because it's not a bracelet. It's a small device on the wrist where it can produce fire. It's basically a travel-sized flamethrower, like the ones that the Mandalorians have. They have a similar concept into the Imperial military troopers. One of the troopers set the corpse on ablaze with the wrist flamethrower. Then suddenly, the entire room felt cold. Everyone immediately stopped fighting, even the zombies, as all the zombies had turned towards the other side of the wall by the far end of the room. Something phased right through the wall, entering the room as a ghost-like entity that seems to be completely formed by the dark side of the Force. Completely phased into the room. Everyone in the room could hear a terrifying and disturbing scream in all of their minds at the same time. Immediately, all the nearby zombies tried to attack this weird-looking entity, only for the zombies' attacks to go right through the entity. This ghostly entity wasn't even solid, as the ghost-like entity pierced the zombie through the head with its sharp, like talons. Vex finally got a better look at the weird-looking creature, using her night vision visors, and she sees a tall, very thin humanoid figure with long white hair with sharp talons that is used to cut down one of the zombies by plunging the talons right into the head of the zombie, killing it instantly. Vex's eyes widen. She knows exactly what this is. She's not properly prepared or equipped to face a space weird. Nothing in her arsenal or any of the troopers' arsenal could actually cause damage to this creature. Only thing that she knows that would actually work, be able to hurt it, would either be a lightsaber or a certain type of blaster that produces a certain type of energy. Star Weirds mostly hunt Force-sensitive life forms, so she has a good idea why the creature's here. It must have been following that Republic ship. right to this Republic dreadnought only means that there's a Jedi aboard. Vex is unaware of the zombie Jedi yet. She hasn't come across any of them, nor did Elijah has contact her back, so she's unaware of the situation with the other part of her team. After the first zombie attacked, the Star Weird considered everyone in the room hostile and just went around massacring any of the hostile zombies that attacked him. Naturally, all the zombies attacked, so the Star Weird eventually cleared out the entire room, only leaving the Star Weird and the Imperials left. The Star Weird didn't even acknowledge their existence. The creature tilted his head downwards, looking at the floor, as it slowly begins to sink downwards into the ground through the floor. Once the Star Weird was completely sunk into the floor of the room, all of the Imperial troopers finally released a breath they didn't know they were holding, as the hideous and terrifying creature, was completely sunk into the ground. The fuck was that? Congratulations, my friends. You have successfully encountered a Star Weird. Star Weirds are ghostly, dark side entities. They hunt Force sensitive. A Star Weird's favorite prey is a Jedi. If a Jedi and a Sith is in the same area, a Star Weird would always try to hunt down the Jedi. They also have displayed several dark side abilities, like the Force Drain. They could even drain out your life, sucking you dry until you die. I'm no expert when it comes to dark side abilities, but I believe Force Drain has some sort of connection to Life Drain, another dark side ability that I've seen used on several occasions. At least that creature can't shoot lightning. Then you're not going to like what I have to say next. The Star Weird does, and has demonstrated the capabilities to shoot Force lightning as well. It might have even more abilities, but that hasn't been seen yet. Class is over, children. We have an operation to continue. Yes, ma'am. Good. Let's move out. The Imperials made their way through the room and turned down a long hallway, leading to a turbo lift. They proceed to take the turbo lift up to the next level of the dreadnought. As they continue to walk through the ship, then the lights begin to flicker on. Alright, troopers, our comrades have kept their end of their agreement in the mission. Let's keep ours. Increase your marching speed, but don't drop your guard. This dreadnought is still infested with man-eating zombies. As they increase their speed while traveling through the dreadnought without dropping their guard, Vix found it suspicious that she hasn't seen or heard any of the infected crew of this dreadnought. Vex stopped moving. She started to use hand signals, telling the troopers to hold their position. As a singular zombie wearing a Jedi robe, carrying some sort of device in his hand. Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Of course there would be Jedis on this dreadnought. As she stares at the zombie Jedi, In the moment, the zombie Jedi, locked onto the troopers on the other side of the hallway. The zombie Jedi immediately activated his green-bladed lightsaber. Then it immediately charged forward, dragging his green lightsaber onto the ground, making sparks as he charged forward, charged towards Vex and the rest of the troopers. The Imperials immediately opened fire, but the zombie Jedi easily bob and weave around all the blaster bolts with incredible speed. The zombie easily cut the distance as the zombie raised up his lightsaber ready to strike Vex down. Only thing Vex had time to do was roll out of the way as the green lightsaber slashed into the ground where she once stood. Vex immediately opened fire with her blaster pistol. She's close range, so she's hoping because they're so close to each other, the zombie wouldn't have enough time to dodge or reflect the blaster bolts. Only for the zombie to easily surprise her and reflect all of the blaster bolts away with his lightsaber. The Imperial troopers, seeing the situation, they immediately opened fire, allowing Vex to get some much needed distance from the zombie Jedi. Orders, man. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. This is not gonna be easy. We're gonna have to find a way to cut through his defensive. It might be one of these zombies, but it was a Jedi before he was affected. So be very wary. The Jedi zombie screamed, utilizing a Force Scream. The Force Scream temporarily dazed everyone. With that single lack of hesitation, made it quite easy for the zombie to pull one of the troopers towards him with using a force pull. Once the zombie got a hold of the trooper by the neck, as he ripped off his helmet and bit hard down on his neck, as blood began to splur, covering the side of the zombie's face, as the Jedi zombie dropped the dead body, or soon to be dead body. The Jedi zombie kept his eyes on the Imperials, but not moving any further. He kept his lightsaber pointed at the remaining living Imperials, as the trooper on the ground begins to finally die, as eventually, after a few minutes, the body begins to twitch. Like I said, it only took a few minutes as the dead trooper rose again, as a freshly new vampire was not vampire. I don't know why I want to keep calling them vampires. Yeah, they're not. Sorry. Again, the freshly new zombie, not vampire, zombie. Like, small pause. Like, when I was making the script, I kept calling them vampires throughout making the script, so that's why I'm calling them a vampire for some reason. I was thinking of a story of a vampire story. That's why I have the vampire stuff on my mind right now. That's why I'm replacing zombie with vampire, but that's not here or there. Let's continue with the story. As a newly formed zombie screech at the Jedi zombie screech back like they're talking back to Force. The zombie Jedi pulled the blaster with the Force, as the blaster that was right next to one of the living troopers. It was yanked from the ground right into the Jedi hand, as he shoved the blaster into the zombie's hand and screeched at it, ordering it to attack. The Imperial zombie trooper immediately began to blast his blaster at his own comrades, while the zombie Jedi rushed forward. Vex took a small device from her hip that was attached to her belt, as it turned out to be a collapsible metal sword. It's a thin silver-like sword that was made by some unknown alloy that was created specifically to fight against lightsabers. Mandalorian had their own metal to fight against lightsabers, so she had to create her own. She couldn't get a sample of Vasgard, so she had to make her own. As she rushed forward and swung her sword towards the zombie Jedi, the zombie did the same as he swung out with his saber in a slash. As the two weapons collide with each other, as green blade met with normal blade, while green energy blade met with a normal sword. As the zombie Jedi grind his green lightsaber against Vex's collapsible metal-like sword, made by an unknown alloy, easily keeping the lightsaber from cutting into the metal of the sword. Vex blocked several incoming saber strikes with her weapon, easily keeping up with the Jedi. Vex noticed the increase in physical strength of the zombie Jedi, but she calculated accordingly by dodging the more powerful strikes. She is not new when it comes to battling someone with a sword. She was trained and mentored by Mara Rosefield herself. Mara. I'm not sure it was Mara or Mara. I'll have to look back and see, but I believe it was that. It doesn't really matter. Elijah's the mother, basically. Herself. If she knew Elijah was... She did know Elijah was the Rosefield, but she hasn't caught on that Elijah is her mentor's son, Mara. Mara never brought it up. Brought up her family. When she's at work at Imperial Intelligence HQ, her mentor has always kept her work life separate from her personal life. So she definitely knows her teacher has a son, but that's the only sort of information she has on him. If she knew, she would probably not allow him to go down to the engine room with Quill. She wouldn't have allowed him to leave her sight, but that's not, she doesn't know, so she was unaware of that. The Rosefield family is a very big family. It's hard to keep track of every member of the Rosefields, so that's why she didn't put much thought onto it. Vex refocused on her opponent as she dodged a overreaching strike and ducked under a saber swing as she held her weapon in reverse grip and slashed upward, slashing the zombie head in half, killing it as it falls to the ground. As the lightsaber deactivated, she immediately took the lightsaber. After all, there is a Star Weird roaming the dreadnought, and she needs the lightsaber just in case. If there's more than one. They immediately continued, eventually getting to the door, and that will lead them to the bridge. Once they spliced through the door, they immediately came into the bridge, entering the room, killing all the zombies inside using their blasters. After pulling the bodies out of the bridge and hauling them in the hallway, as her teams begin to download what they can on the ship database, copying all the information they need. At the same time, Elijah, they were all getting ready to move out. They did what they can to repair the dreadnought. As the Imperials and Republic worked together to travel through the ship, heading towards the bridge, only to engage more zombie Jedis. Out of curiosity, how many Jedis were aboard on this dreadnought, Mr. Jedi? According to reports, there were several Jedi Knights and other low-ranking Jedi that were stationed aboard on this dreadnought for extra protection. I'm uncertain on the actual numbers, though. Elijah was satisfied with the information he got from the Jedi, for now, as the Jedi and Sith acolyte rush towards the zombie. Or served the zombie Jedi, much like the last time they worked together. They covered each other's openings. If there was any openings in their saber stance, they would basically cover each other. One would attack, while another would defend. They would go back and forth, switching from offense to defense to offense, until the zombie was overwhelmed as Elijah and River stroked down by cutting the zombie in half, by slashing their lightsabers downwards. Elijah and River chose to keep their lightsabers active, as Elijah and the Jedi Knight River took the lead, as the Republic and Imperial troopers followed right behind them. There's still extremely amount of distrust between the Imperials and the Republic troopers, but their lives are on the line. They had to put their mistrust, suspicion, on hold and work together. The Republic troopers are only following River out of respect and trust his judgment, even if that means they have to work with imps, while the Imperial troopers follow Quill with the same amount of respect. But they do have the same amount of respect that the Republic troopers showed to the Jedi, that they showed to the young acolyte in their company. They just don't want to cause any problems to the very angry acolyte. He might be a Rosefield, but that Rosefield is a Sith acolyte. They just want to obey their orders. They just obeyed their orders out of fear. Only reason they're working with the Republic and the Jedi is because out of survival instincts and respect. They would rather not be cut down by the very powerful and scary acolyte that threatens people casually, like they're talking over tea. After they travel through another hallway, they approach a door that was at the end of the hallway. Once the door opened up, Elijah and the rest of the group entered another large room that has several doors on each side of the walls. As they notice a couple of zombies, they immediately open fire. The Republic and the Imperial troopers easily took care of the zombie in the room, working together, made fast work of the hostile. Elijah felt a disturbance in the Force, but he did not speak it out loud. The Jedi did that for him. There's a disturbance in the Force. I know you felt it as well. Yes, I did. I did feel a disturbance in the Force. When those words left his lips, left Elijah's lips, the room extremely got a whole lot colder, as some sort of entity came phasing through the ceiling of the room, right in front of him, a little bit away, but still in front of them. Everyone get back, it's a Star Weird. That's definitely not good. Do you think we can lose it through the Dreadnought? No, these entities are predators. They target and kill anyone that has the potential to use the Force. How can we kill it? It's a dark side entity. Most things can't hurt it. You could always use the Force to hurt it, or our lightsabers to strike it down. But the thing is able to use dark side techniques, abilities. So be very cautious and be very careful. I should be saying that to you, after all. There's a good possibility this creature's after you. Get ready, Jedi. It's approaching. One watches the ghost-like entity hover above the ground and hover forward without even touching the floor once. Suddenly everyone could hear a terrifying, disturbing scream in all of their minds at the same time. Elijah grind his teeth. The Star Weird immediately charged and grabbed one of the Republic troopers. As the Star Weird grabbed him by the neck and used his free hand, as he proceeds to use Force Strain, sucking out his life force. The Star Weird used the Force to launch the dead body of the trooper against the wall on the other side of the room, as all hell broke loose, as the Republican and Imperial troopers attack. That's when the Jedi and Elijah came charging straight at the Star Weird, ready to engage the creature in combat. That's where we're going to stop it. I'll catch you guys in the next part.